Hello everyone, back tuning in today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days for today's second video, which will take us around the 15th of October. So we're heading into the middle part of the month with the 10-day time frame now. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. They went around a couple of weeks, and we'll have a look at CFSV2 at the end of the video for the next month as well. So, weekend forecast has been released, and it's going to be a very unsettled week coming up. Low pressure going to be in control once again. Of course, we will cover the same sort of time frame initially with this video update, and then we'll extend out beyond that as well. But it's certainly going to be quite an unsettled week coming up. Low pressure never going to be far away, so there will be showers or longer spells of rain, and going to be very unsettled. So, have a look at weekend forecast, see what's going on there. At the end of the video, I'll tell you what's happening tomorrow at Gauss-Worthies. But we're going to start off with the 500 millibar height dominant flow charts from the Penn State University. We've got the ECMWF here on the top, and the GFS, which we'll have a look in a moment, is on bottom. So 500 millibars, 85 feet, is an area in the atmosphere. High pressure and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Blue extrapolates to low pressure, and yellow, orange, red extrapolates to high pressure. So in the 7 to 10 day time frame, which is taking us to the middle of October, the let's just get rid of that. There we go. The ECM looks very unsettled. We've got an area of above average heights there in the North Atlantic and heading up towards south of Greenland. There's also a ridge across central and eastern parts of Europe. That's going to be quite a warm ridge, and we'll try to pull warm air out of North Africa and the Mediterranean. But at the same time, we've got this deep area of low pressure out to the northwest of the UK. So the flow of jet is going to be doing something a bit like that. It's a complicated pattern, but the upshot is there could be quite a lot of rain in with this, because we could have a front that sort of gets a bit stuck and strung out between the two troughs of low pressure, that one there, and get rid of that again. So try that again. We're going to have low pressure just there, low pressure just there, and there may well be a front that's sort of strung out in that sort of position. On the northern side of that low, we bring down, that front should say, going to be bringing down quite cool air from the north, and then on the southern side front, we're going to be trying to push up quite warm air from the south. That could fuel rain. So we could see a very wet spell setting up here sometime around the middle part of October. Won't be at all surprised if we do. This is how the GFS is looking. It's very similar. Again, very deep trough of low pressure, area of low pressure sitting over to the north of the country. The ridge to our south isn't quite as strong, but it's still trying to push up some warm air from the south. And at the same time, we've got all this high pressure sitting in the North Atlantic and going into the Arctic, and that's trying to push colder air southwards. So again, there's likely to be a very active front that will sort of mark the boundary between those two different air masses, and to me it all looks like it could be setting up quite a significant spell of wet weather there around the middle part of October. And the idea is still that it's staying very unsettled, probably even into the second half of the month. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're looking at Manchester today. So the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Manchester. Close to average at the moment. Going to tick up a little bit tomorrow into early next week, and then falling back again. Then after that, very close to average. We have got some of these warmer ensemble members here appearing around the middle part of October. That's when we're trying to push up some warmer air from the south, but we're also trying to bring down colder air from the north. We may well get a push of warmer southerly winds for a day or two around the middle part of the month, then possibly cooling down again as we go into the second half of October. Continues to look unsettled. Got a bit of a deluge coming up tonight. Getting stuck across the eastern parts of the country tomorrow, and then after that, just regular rainfall spikes as we go even into the second half of October. It doesn't look like it's going to be the most unsettled October that we've had for a very long time, I have to say that. And around this middle part of October, again, possibly just hinting something even wetter beginning to appear then. Temperature anomalies from the 5th through to the 13th of October, very, very close to average, not a particularly big deviation either way. Precipitation anomalies from the 5th to the 13th of October, again, very close to, or perhaps slightly above average for northern parts of the country. That salvage GFS is looking for Tuesday. So this is all covered by weekend forecast time frame, of course. Bringing in a showery westerly wind on Tuesday. Quite cool, quite showery conditions through the middle part of the week. Second half of the week looks like that. So this is Friday. We're beginning to get this ridge starting to appear across France and going into central parts of Europe. Lots of low pressure around here, of course. Trying to bring up milder southwesterly winds too. Likely to be unsettled at the end of the weekend. Into the weekend, it stays unsettled with these areas of low pressure continuing to move in from the Atlantic. That takes us into the following week. This is Monday, the 14th of October. We're still dominated by low pressure. And that's how we look at day 10, which is Tuesday, the 15th of October. So at this point, again, we've got all of this ridging sitting across eastern and southeastern parts of Europe. That is bringing up warm air from the south. At the same time, I've got low pressure over Scandinavia to the northeast of Scotland and cold air trying to dig in on the backside of that low. And there's likely to be a weather front that's sort of strung out. You see we've got low pressure here sitting around the Bay of Biscay and Portugal. Low pressure up here. They're connected probably by a weather front. So it's a very complicated pattern, but it is marking the boundary between a huge contrast in upper air temperatures. This sort of thing is indicative of the autumn season, of course. So, I mean, across France, we've got some very warm air. Indeed, actually, there on Friday the 15th of October, upper air temperatures are going above 15 degrees at 850 HPA. But into the UK, we're actually under quite cool air, and genuinely cold air is sitting just to the north of Scotland. So that's a huge contrast in temperatures, and it is likely to fuel quite a lot of rain on the boundary of those air masses, which are going to be marked by a weather front. These are the thickness lines. I don't often show you these, but I thought we'd have a look at them today. So again, these are just another way of visualising air temperatures, really. So where you've got this lemon-coloured line just here, that's kind of like summer. If you're behind or within that line, you've got summer-like temperatures. And we've got a bit of that actually coming into the south of France, into Bay of Biscay. You'll notice that's the 564 thickness line. This lime-coloured green line just here is autumn, basically. So if you're within that line, you are in genuinely autumnal conditions. That's the 546 line. And then this blue line just here, that's winter, really. So that's the 528 thickness line. And if you're within that line, it's going to be cold, to say the least. It's going to be, that's one of the minimum requirements to get snow, to be within the 528 thickness line. This darker blue line up here, that's the 510 line, and that's kind of like beasts from the east type winter. You remember when we had the beasts from the east, we got quite excited because we did in fact bring in the 510 thickness line from Siberia, and that's when it got really bitterly cold at the depths of the severe cold with the beasts from the east. We don't get the 510 line all that often in the UK. But anyway, coming back to this green line, so that's kind of like autumn, but just to the south it's almost summer-like with the temperature, and it's a big contrast in temperatures. We are likely to see quite a bit of rain being fueled by that contrast in temperature around the middle part of October. Now, eventually the whole thing simplifies and the low pressure goes scooting off to our east, and that allows those colder winds to push down from the north. There's the upper air temperature showing the warmth is being shoved off into Central Europe. Cooler air is digging in from the north. There again is the thickness line. So you'll see we are actually bringing in the 528 line, which is kind of like one of the minimum requirements for snow. We begin to bring that into northern parts of Scotland and just fringing towards Northern Ireland. So that would suggest showers if that came off, showers would probably start to turn wintry, maybe even to low levels across the northern parts of Scotland. Elsewhere, looks like we're still under quite a lot of rain. Where we've got these white mottled areas, that's cloud, of course. So that suggests heavy rain still across much of the country, but cold air digging in from the north there. By the time we get through to Thursday, the 17th of October, we're into this cold northerly wind, probably bringing wintry showers into northeastern parts of Scotland and an increasing risk of night frost. There's the upper air temperature showing that the -5 Celsius ice firm is digging into Scotland. Again, that's one of the minimum requirements we look for in the winter to get snow, to be within the -5 Celsius isotherm. Beyond that, actually, we start to collapse this high pressure down across the country, so that little cold snap is cut off in terms of a northerly wind, but that probably would bring a risk of night frost. By the time we end up with this GFS run, we're actually bringing up warmer winds from the south again, as the high pressure is shifting over towards central eastern parts of Europe. But again, we've got lots of low pressure in the Atlantic, so any sort of southerly wind is likely to be brief, I would have thought. And then in comes the low pressure, bringing more rain back in from off the Atlantic. There is a little bit of a cold snap that's definitely showing up there around the middle part of October after probably quite a wet spell. GM is looking like this. So Tuesday is rather showery and windy, and as we go into the middle part of next week, definitely got these strong westerly winds feeding in lots of showers. Looks really showery, have to say, for the middle part of next week. The end of next week starts to see pressure rising across France. We've got this area of low pressure up to the north of Scotland, and the suggestion, I think, is just very unsettled, really, as we go into next weekend. Again, there is probably a front that's sort of strung out and doing something a little bit like that, and along that front there'd be ripples of rain. Of course, it's marking a boundary in temperatures, so again, to the southern side of that, we're trying to pull up some warmer winds from the south, but to the north of it, we're trying to dig in colder winds from the North Atlantic. As we move to day 10, it looks really unsettled, and low pressure increasingly breaking through from off the Atlantic. So any push of warmer winds from the south is likely to be brief, and it's likely to be accompanied, I would have thought, by quite a lot of heavy rain. That's how we look at day 10, Tuesday 15th of October, very unsettled again. This is how the ECM is looking, and again on Tuesday, very unsettled conditions, sunshine and showers, and showery conditions lasting into the middle of next week. The end of next week, again, the heights are rising across southern parts of Europe and through central Europe, and that is trying to pull up warmer winds into the south, but we're not getting rid of these areas of low pressure. The upshot of those the warmer air trying to come up from the south will probably just be to increase the temperature contrast north to south, and probably increase the risk of heavy rain as we move up towards the middle part of October. That's how we look at day 10. Again, it's looking really unsettled, I have to say. The ridge is over there, and down across the Mediterranean. Got all of this low pressure around here. Cold air, or cool air anyway, is trying to dig in from the North Atlantic on the northern side of that low. Warm southerly winds on the eastern side of the low. There's bound to be weather fronts that are marking the boundary along these sort of elongations in the isobars, and again, that could, potential contrast could fuel quite a bit of rain there as we get to day 10. Which is the 15th of October. So this is looking like a wet first half of October, definitely. Probably even staying unsettled into the second half of the month. Now, this is the ECMWF precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from tameteo.com. And this is the situation that we're starting off with today. So wet weather is coming in from the west today, but many central eastern areas will be dry until this evening. But then overnight, this rain is pushing across the country. Some heavy bursts mixed in, and the rain sort of stalling over the country as well. So it's going to be really wet, I think, tonight through most central and eastern and northern parts of Britain. We could see temperatures going, rainfall going to 25 millimetres, an inch of rain, I think, by the end of the night. And this rain just continues in the east into tomorrow morning. This is midday tomorrow. Still absolutely pouring with rain on the eastern side of the country. We might clock up to around 40 to 50 millimetres of rain for some of those eastern areas tonight and tomorrow. at 6 o'clock in the evening. The low that's forming along that stuck weather front is slipping away to our south. It's still very wet in this southeastern corner, even to tomorrow evening. Finally, that gets out of the way, but you'll notice more rain is coming in from the Atlantic by the end of Sunday night. This is 6 a.m. Monday, turning wet again in the west. That rain pushed across the country, this time sort of becoming patchier as it moves eastward. So it won't be quite as wet on Monday, but there will be some rain around. And again, may get a little bit stuck in the southeast corner, possibly pep up a little bit overnight, Monday into Tuesday. That gets out of the way, then into sunshine and showers for Tuesday and also for Wednesday. You'll notice most of the showers in the north and west, not as many in the east. The east tend to be a bit prone. Tend to be a little bit sheltered from those westerly winds. Possibly a more persistent area of rain sometime around Wednesday. And then as we go into the second half of next week, that's when we start to get these fronts a bit stuck with low pressure developing around the country. So now we're up to the 5th of October, which is Friday, of course. And again, it's looking unsettled. Not to the 11th of October, I should say, which is Friday. It's looking very unsettled. Quite a bit of rain across the northern parts of the country, but the position of this stuck and strung out weather front with ripples of rain running along it is likely to change. It could be further north of that, could be further south of that. And further pulses of rain just keep coming as we go into next weekend. So there's one scooting across England and Wales, for example. Here comes another one scooting across England and Wales with another weather system out to the northwest. So the position of those periods of rain likely to change, but it is the suggestion that into next weekend and then into the following week it could be very unsettled running up to the middle part of October with more rain to come. And that could be very heavy rain because there is a big temperature contrast that is fueling those outbreaks of rain. Again, look at that, very, very wet there as we're up to the 15th of October now. And of course, remember, the idea is that to the east of it, we've got those warm southerly winds. To the north of it, we've got quite cold northerly winds. And along the front, the temperature contrast is fueling chance of quite a bit of wet weather. So it certainly looks like up to the middle of October we're in for plenty of rain, and I think by the time you get to the middle of October I wouldn't totally be ruling out the chance that we might have some localised flooding actually for some parts of the country. It seems a bit bizarre given just a few weeks ago it was extremely dry, but there we go, that's the way things can change in this country. These are the GFS ensembles, of course, from the Icelandic Met Office. This is the option that we have on the table at day 10, which is the 15th of October, of course. Been talking about it a lot through this video. So we have 51 out of 51 members, all of them, that's 100%, including the operational and control runs. So the operational run is a run we've just been focusing on. That looked very, very unsettled at day 10. So we've got this mid-Atlantic ridge going up to Greenland with cold air trying to push out of the north on the northern side of that low that is sitting over the top of the country. We've got a big area of low pressure in the 500 millibar flow, and on the eastern side of that, drawing up those warm southerly winds. And again, weather front is going to mark the boundary and potentially bring a lot of wet weather. And all ECM ensemble members are seeing that scenario. So up to the middle of October, expect plenty more rain to come. In 2 weeks' time, which gets us to the 20th of October, these are the options that we've got. So 39 members of the ECM ensembles, including the control room, looking unsettled with below average heights over the top of the country. So just continues to be very unsettled with those, even into the third week of October, the unsettled weather goes on. There is a minority option, which is 12 members of the ECM ensemble suite, that has much more influence from high pressure, above average height sitting to the north of the country. They'd be bringing in easterly winds. Could be quite cold easterly winds, or certainly cool, but they're certainly breaking us out of the unsettled weather. That would be a much drier scenario, but only 12 of those doing that. So it is by far a minority option, with 39 members. By far the majority option is still looking unsettled even in 2 weeks' time. Finally, the CFS V2. So this is how the CFS is forecasting things for the next 4 weeks. These are the 500 millibar height anomalies for the next 4 weeks. This is week 1, taking us from the 5th to the 11th of October. Looks unsettled. Low pressure is from the Atlantic through the country, blocking up to the north, a ridge down to the south. So it continues to look very unsettled in the week ahead. This is week 2. Which is the 12th to the 18th of October. Above average heights down to our southwest, below average heights to our north. A little bit more influence from high pressure there to the southwest. Again, that's trying to bring up those warmer winds from the south, but of course these low pressures trying to dig down warmer, cooler winds from the north. So the CFS is seeing a little bit more influence from the reach though down to our south in week 2. Then week 3 looks very unsettled again. This is the 19th to 25th of October. Just really unsettled conditions, low pressure over and to the north of the country, a ridge in the middle of the Atlantic. Probably quite cool as well, with winds from a northwesterly direction. And then we finish up in week 4, which is the 26th of October to the 1st of November. Gets us to the first day of the last month of the autumn of 2019, with below average heights out to the northwest, above average heights down towards Spain. That one also looking quite unsettled as well. As we've talked about in the videos a lot over the past few days, this is looking like a very unsettled October now. So it does look as though there's going to be lots of rain to come, especially the first half of the month. There are still a few hints, maybe, but by the time we get into the second half of the month, might start to see a bit more influence from high pressure, but up to mid-month I would expect more rain to come, and by mid of October I wouldn't be at all surprised if we start to see a little bit of localised flooding in low-lying areas close to rivers and streams. So a little bit worrying perhaps, but we shall see about that. But definitely the upshot is it is going to be a very unsettled first half to October, and probably on the balance of probabilities even extending into the second half of October, I would have thought. Right, that's it for your videos for today. Now tomorrow we've got a very interesting day coming up. We're going to start off with the 6th winter 2019-2020 update. That's going to be a real epic update, I'm quite sure. Among all the other things that we're going to focus on, or we do focus on in the winter update, it's going to be a little bit of a QBO special, this one. So, of course, we're in the West QBO. We think we might be going to transition to an ECQBO. Through reanalysis, we're going to attempt to explain what that could mean for this winter. So this is going to be one of the more important winter updates, actually, within the suite of winter updates. They're all important, of course, but this one is going to be quite a big update, I think, in terms of the overall forecast. Also, there'll be a live chat, a live stream on the YouTube channel between 5 and 6 o'clock, talking about that winter update. If you've got any questions, then get them in for the live stream, or getting ready for the live stream, I suppose. And also tomorrow we're going to have the first written update for Christmas. It's just a bit of fun, and just to get the Christmas page up and running ahead of course, video updates for Christmas starting, as always, on the 1st of November. But before we start those video updates for a couple of weeks, we like to do some written updates for Christmas. So the first one of those will be coming up tomorrow afternoon, probably around 3 o'clock, I would have thought. Right, so loads to keep checking back to website and YouTube channel for. So if you want to listen to that live stream, by the way, and you usually watch the videos on gazweathers.com, then you've got to go to the YouTube channel and subscribe, because we're not going to stream this through gazweathers.com or the social media accounts, because I want to keep all the comments to one place if possible, and that would be to YouTube. So you're going to have to subscribe to YouTube, and click the little bell notification icon thing when you subscribe, and that then will give you notifications when we release new videos, and also when we're live streaming, so you'll know then what's happening. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.